Today, the Hollywood Drifter Channel is in Old Town San Diego, California, exploring some of the most historic landmarks in all of the state. Places such as the Whaley House, built in 1857, nicknamed by Life magazine the most haunted house in America. The Cosmopolitan Hotel, originally built between 1827 and 1829 by Juan Bandini, and El Campo Santo Cemetery, built in 1849. Located just around the corner from the infamous Whaley House. This alone is enough to lend to the cemetery's haunted lore, but it doesn't end there. It's also the final resting place for James "Yankee Jim" Robinson. Hanged to death just 2 blocks away at the site where Whaley House now sits, Robinson's ghost is reported by many to regularly haunt El Campo Santo Cemetery as well as the Whaley House. Foolish mortals, if you will, join us on this ghostly exploration of Old Town San Diego's State Historic Park.
For 20 years, I had my first experience at the Whaley House. Whaley House is down San Diego Avenue, stop by there. After my experience there, I was hooked. I bought several books that talked about ghosts here in Old Town, also in San Diego. And I found that those books had the same couple stories. The only place they talked about being haunted here in Old Town was at the El Fandango restaurant. They talked about a woman in white sitting at a table and walking through a wall. I thought there'd be something more, so I came to this building. This is the Robinson Rose home. This building served as the park visitors. Went inside, talked to the female ranger that was on duty, and I asked her if there was any other buildings here in Old Town that were haunted. As we started talking about ghosts, the elevator turned on. Went from the second floor down to the first. She said that's the ghost, he moves the elevator, he also turns off on the lights. After leaving ghosts are gone, it's okay with me. Not here to change your mind, your opinion, just going to share with you some of my experience. We go to the Whaley House, we do not go inside, we go on the side of the property. There is where I've had the majority of my experiences at that location. When we come from the cemetery back to the Whaley property, I'm going to use one of the meters like you do on the ghost hunting shows on television. And I'll show you where the vortex, or where the energy is that hovers above the ground. When we get over there, I'll tell you more about that. Anybody here ever watch Ghost Adventurers? When they were here, they were inside the Casa de Astudillo, also inside the Cosmopolitan Hotel and Restaurant. We too were going to go inside the Cosmo, and that is the most haunted building that I've ever been in. Any questions of anything before we start walking? Gonna hit this one right here. When I came to Old Town, I made several loops around Washington Square and the plaza, just taking random photos of this, that, and another. I wanted to stop and take a break, so I sat on the bench there by the wall. As I was sitting there looking around, I heard these footsteps. They either came out of the double doors or they started in front of the double doors. They started down the front porch or the front walk. So I got up, followed parallel on the cement, taking pictures in the area that the boards were creaking. As fast as my camera would charge the flash, I take another photo. I followed them down to the next set of double doors, where they either stopped or went inside the commercial restaurant. The commercial restaurant is one of only a handful of original adobe buildings left here in Old Town. The building in front of us and the two to the left were burnt in a fire in 1872 and rebuilt to look similar to the original. When I developed the film in between those two buildings for that night, I did not see or catch anything out of the ordinary. We're going to walk up just a tad bit further. The Colorado House in the Wells Fargo building. And to the left of the double doors with the atmosphere, there was a small theater space. It was not a shadow. It was a solid black masses away from the wall. I could see the arms, the legs, they had the torso, and as I focused in, that was a child here. I believe it was a child because it was only about 3 feet tall. Different day, there was a young couple. The girl saw a woman in the upper left-hand window. The guy didn't see anything, but they were concerned because the building was obviously closed. And there was that one after. We walked over to the plaza, found the security guards, brought them back, and they told them about that woman. The one security guard told them, there's no way a woman could be up there because that second floor is a facade. Originally, this is a full 3-story white building. After it burned down, they only finished the lower level, and the only way to get inside on that second-story catwalk is from the inside with a ladder. Any questions of anything to this spot? Gonna walk up further. 1542, Cabrillo came to the harbor, rowed ashore, claimed this land for Spain. They saw the Kumeyaay Indian living on the hill. They got back into their ship, wound up discovering the West California. 1769, the next group from Spain came to the harbor, rowed ashore, claimed this land for Spain. They saw the Kumeyaay Indian, but this group was waiting for Father Serra. Father Serra and his people coming up from Mexico, where they were building missions and spreading Christianity. The two groups, about a meter in Senegal, they did, and up on that plateau that I'll show you from the other side of Old Town, they built the first mission that started the mission system or mission chain through California. If you go up there right now, there's a grass area with some rolling hills. Underneath the rolling hills is where the rest of the walls of that first building. They built out of adobe. These first homes here in Old Town, they built out of adobe or dirt because San Diego was up close to the desert. This building in front of us is not haunted that I'm aware of, but this is the first wood structure in Old Town. Wood came from the East Coast by sail ship because there was not a Panama Canal. It took over 90 days for the wood to get here. It was built in around 1850. And in 1868, the Senegal Union, Senegal's largest newspaper today, was started in that building. Any questions of anything to this spot? Gonna head to the Whaley House.
No.
So the Whaley House, October 1999, turn on the TV, the Travel Channel was on. They had just started talking about the Whaley House. I was born here in San Diego, been Old Town a couple of times, never been to the Whaley House, didn't know anything about it. I also didn't know anything about ghosts and supernatural and paranormal. We watched the program, first commercial was over, found out they were talking about America's most houses. When the show was over, I decided to come down and look for myself. Loaded up my camera, several rolls of film, drove down, had to find the house, parked right in front, got out, looked at the camera, started taking pictures of everything. I had no idea what I was looking at or looking for. I started the front, worked my way to the left, the back, the courtyard, and again I was in front. At that time, the organization would have the property when they closed, they would leave the lights on in the hallway. And with those lights on, you could see through the little curtains in the hall. I wanted to picture that before I left. The flash was ready, brought the camera up into the viewfinder, and there was a lady standing on the other side of the door. I had no idea who she was. I didn't want to be rude and flash in her face, so I did not take the picture. Brought the camera down, she was still standing there. So I turned, took a couple steps back, looked back into the doorway, and at that point she was at the end of the hall gliding left back where the stairs are. I can only see from the waist up. From the waist down there was nothing there. Her hair was black, pulled back tight part in the middle. She had a white shirt buttoned to the chin with ruffles around the collar. I had seen my first ghost. Not a real scary experience, but I turned, walked down the stairs, got into my car, and I took off. Came back the next day, it was a Saturday, went to the house for the first time. The first ghost that I saw was Violet Whaley, one of the daughters. Violet was 22, they had a failed relationship, tried to kill herself once. She jumped into a well, only had a couple of feet of water. After that, she found where her father, his 32 revolver. She went to the bathroom, shot herself in the heart. At that time, the house was here by itself. So Thomas Whaley, her father, heard the gunfire. He went into the bathroom, picked up his daughter, brought her in the house, laid her on the couch where she died. And that couch is still on the right side of the building. Any questions of anything to this spot? Yeah, it's really simple. All right, we're going to head to the cemetery.
that when the cemetery was made.
Right.
Jim, he is the most popular person here in the cemetery. Before Thomas Whaley bought the property and built that house, the county owned that lot. That's where the gallows stood. They hung 3 people. Yankee Jim was the last one. He was 6'4". Average height of the man was 5'8". So he landed on his tippy toes, and it took him about 45 minutes to choke to death. After that, the county decided not to do any more hangings there. They put the property up for sale. It said vacant for 4 years. No one wanted it because that's where the gallows stood. 1856, Thomas Whaley made the county an offer, bought it, and started to build the house. There were 10 acres altogether. Anyone like to give a guess on how much you think Thomas Whaley bought each acre for in 1856?
$200.
$1.
Somewhere in between there.
$100.
That's the Price is Right. That should have win.
Higher or lower, Bob? Higher or lower, Bob?
It was actually $1.50. At this point, if you'd like to walk around the cemetery, take a look, take pictures, please do. I'll meet you in a couple minutes in the back.
They had taken her body. The little girls in the old house, they had made her a beautiful flower. They placed the flower wreath, caught it in his head. Nina was now draped and the finest white face. Best send-off that I've ever seen for a child. There were 6 little girls. They brought a table along that had 4 legs to it. They took her coffin and they placed it on top of the front table. The girls lifted up the table by the legs. You know, they had to play in the bottom. The little girls had lifted up the table. Behind the little girls were boys. The boys fired on fire. Back then, no tonight, only one light.
Any questions of anything?
The remains are still here.
Yes.
Why did they not just make the road go out instead of putting the? Didn't they have like sites they buried over? They put the road over the. Why did they do that?
Because it was easier for them to, because they wanted to lay the railroad tracks. So they brought up the trolley from downtown to Old Town, and the way that it came up the hill, that's why the road is bent like this, is to bend the railroad into the streets of Old Town. Because the streets in Old Town are kind of shaped like this, and then from downtown they're like this, so they had to curve it.
Why do some of these have barriers around?
That's how some of the Catholics mark their graves, with the picket fences. The 2 original ones are the 2 metal ones. The small cast iron here and the large one there. These 2 families have been here. These 2 markers have been here from the day. The cemetery was rebuilt in 1993.
Are these lights on? I know street lights are on. Other lights on all night long?
This is El Campo Santo Cemetery, the 3rd official cemetery in San Diego. The first one's by Seaport Village. It's called Dead Man's Corner. 1769, when they came ashore, they had dead bodies. The new one by Seaport Village has been moved. The second cemetery is up where the mission is on the hill. The cemetery there is called the King's Garden. And there's still plenty of people buried. Anyone like to guess how many people you think were buried in this cemetery?
This one here?
It's okay to be wrong if you like to make a guess.
34.
40. 58.
And closer.
72.
477 people are buried in the cemetery. But if you count the markers, there's not that many. The wall that we walked by was across the street and about 10 feet into the building. When they decided to put the road in, they brought the wall up, and they asphalted and cemented over the people in front and the people in back. In 1993, the city had sonar equipment done. They pinged the front area to find out where they are. So as we walk out, you can look into the street and sidewalk for markers that say gravesite. When they pinged out there, they pinged in here. Everyone's marked like this. Piece of PVC pipe in the ground with the washer and a screw in it. Each of the discs have a number stamped in it, so they do know where everyone's buried. And after ghost hunting now for 20 years, I've actually found nothing in this cemetery, except for the fact that from time to time, cameras will malfunction. As we walk out, we'll pass over about 10 markers. We'll go up to the sidewalk, I'll put out some of the markers there, and we're going to head back down the street to the river. Any other questions of anything to this spot? Head out this way. There's one of the markers there in the sidewalk. Another marker there. There's one of the discs there in the street. There's one of the circle discs in the street. There's one of the discs there in the street if you'd like to see. The ones in the front all say gravesite on them. Stand or sit in front of the bar. You can stand or sit in front of the bar where you like. Sit. 1869, Mr. Seeley, that had the bar next door, bought the property for $2,000 in gold, put on the second story, called it the Cosmopolitan Hotel. The building went through a $7.5 million restoration. They rebuilt the new kitchen on the back. They remodeled the 10 rooms upstairs. They also did the lower dining area, and they put some wallpaper on that would have been similar to the 1800s. There are 6 rooms you can freely walk around in. This is 1, there's 2, there's 3. When you go underneath the stairs, there's some rooms back there. So you can walk around, look around, take pictures, whatever you like. Before we do that, would you like to see some ghost photos? I'm going to show you photos that were taken by people while on the tour. I show these to show that anyone can get ghost photos, and I was right next to these folks and I got a copy right away. I'm going to start each photo from this side of the bar, energy. It's difficult to tell who everybody is, but guests have left the hotel in the middle of the night because they've seen things like this walking around their rooms. So again, this is just a common way people see ghosts in this building, just masses of energy. You see him at night, they say he's always dressed in a suit. You can see that his head's kind of warped, like he's going back to the other side.
Marielena.